The Gambia's unusual shape, a thin, elongated strip of land stretching along the Gambia River and almost entirely surrounded by Senegal, is one of the most striking examples of how colonial history can carve geography in ways that look bizarre on a modern map. To understand why the Gambia appears as a narrow corridor cutting through Senegal, you have to go back to several centuries to the era of European competition over West Africa, when rivers were the lifelines of trade, transport, and influence. The Gambia River was especially valuable because it provided deep access to the interior of the region, making it attractive to European powers seeking to control trade routes. The British, arriving in the 1600s, established trading posts along the river and gradually tightened their grip on the river banks. Meanwhile, the French were expanding their influence over the surrounding territory, which eventually became Senegal. By the 19th century, Britain and France were competing for dominance across West Africa, but neither wanted to risk a costly conflict over this relatively small stretch of land. Instead, they negotiated borders that reflected their strategic priorities. Britain would claim control over the river and a thin strip of land on each side of it, while France would take everything around it. The typical width of this British-held strip, about 10 kilometers north and south of the river, was not random. It roughly equaled the distance a cannon shot could reach from the British gunboat patrolling the waterway, giving Britain both defensive and commercial control. When the colonial era ended, both countries achieved independence in the 1960s. The borders that had been drawn by diplomatic agreements rather than cultural or geographic logic were preserved. The result is the Gambia as we know it today, a country barely 48 kilometers wide at its broadest point, but stretching 338 kilometers inland, an almost perfect river-bound silver embedded within Senegal. Its shape is a direct reminder of how colonial negotiations, strategic rivers, and rival empires sculpted borders that remain in place long after the reasons for their creation have faded into history.